beat the Georgia Bulldogs, you're gonna feel the bulldog.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom, baby. Woo!
This is show number 86. Adam, we're going to start the show doing something here. Let's all take a collective sigh of relief. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Just get the heart rhythm back in order. Get your pulse back in rhythm.
The ticker?
Yeah, to get the old ticker back ticking in the correct pulse, and beat and everything. Because last night, man, it kind of jumped out of rhythm a little bit. Oh, cardiac dogs, man. Cardiac dogs struck again. Yep. And I'm an idiot. I was going to say it. I'm eating my crow. History always repeats itself, right?
Yeah.
It does. When Napoleon invaded Russia back in the day, and during the winter, they stalled out. The French army stalled out. Mm-hmm. When Hitler invaded Russia in the winter in the early 40s or mid 40s or whatever it was, they stalled out. Mm-hmm. History repeats itself. And when Georgia goes to Lexington, Kentucky, they stall out, Clark. And I thought it was going to be different this time.
Me too. But they had us fooled.
That's right.
Wow, what a game. Yep. 13-12. You know, I was telling a Kentucky fan before the game started, I said, listen, as long as we win by a point, I'm good. I mean, we can win by a singular point. I wasn't being literal.
That's just a figurative statement there, wasn't it?
Golly. Boy.
But we know that is a tough place to play. It's a weird place to play, Clark. And SEC, life on the road in the SEC, especially with a lot of new guys getting their first taste of life on the road in the SEC. And not only life on the road in the SEC, but night on the road in the SEC. Yeah. It's a different animal, man.
I'm telling you, it's an underrated environment. I'm not saying, look, there's somebody that said, look, you know, when you talk about Kentucky, they don't rank in the top 10 of SEC environments. And that may be true, but even then, even if you said, look, Kentucky's the 12th best environment in the SEC, fine. It's still a really good environment. And it beats the ACCs.
Oh, man.
A lot of them.
Well, it's a weird feel. Before, I did not go last Saturday to the game, Clark. You went. You're going to tell us about that here. But the 7 times Georgia played in Kentucky before that, I was there. And I've seen this happen so many times that you can't explain it until you've been and witnessed it, especially one of those games at night, how weird it is in Lexington. And a Mark Stoops football team, man, that I thought was going to just roll over after against South Carolina, and kind of going back of the whole debacle with Stoops possibly going to A&M at the end of last year, and it just kind of didn't feel like he had the team like in the past. But no, I was wrong. It was a complete Mark Stoops physical football team on the line. Yeah. Really a mirror image of what Georgia does, just not at the level that Georgia does it, obviously, or the talent that Georgia has, but the same concept of the programs, man. Right. It's like Georgia bashing into a mirror. And every game like that, especially in Lexington, is always physical. And Kirby Smart's always says one of the most physical games they play all year is against Mark Stoops, Kentucky. And I was crazy to think that it would be any different, really. But I don't
know if crazy is the right word. I mean, we were sold a bill of goods that said, hey, Georgia's a good team. And you know what? Kentucky's not, based on the game they played against South Carolina. I mean, we were fooled.
Well, and that's crazy. And we know better than to think you know that you can throw all that stuff out the window on the road in the SEC or any SEC game, you know. And judging a team off of their previous week's performance, well, it'll get you. It'll get you. And I don't know, man. I thought they would either be just lay over and it would just be on path to a terrible season. That's what I was going with, but no, they answered the bell, man. So tip your hat to Kentucky for that. They went into wounded animal mode, Clark, and just straight up just got the best of us.
Almost got the best of us.
The
Dogs pulled it out 13-12, and we're going to talk about this game in depth because there's a lot to deduce from this, both good and bad.
And why the panic button shouldn't be hit.
Right.
Man, that's deja vu. We've said this before on the show.
It's almost like we said it last year after the Auburn game.
The year before that, after the Missouri game. the Kent State game, really, even though that was, I mean, that little 2-week span in 2022. Yeah, it's deja vu.
We got served a nice slice of humble pie this week, and we needed it. So, once again, we're going to get into this game in just a little bit. I do want to make an announcement quick.
Please do. Please do.
We've got a game. I don't know if y'all have heard about this yet or not. We got a game coming up. It's a pretty big opponent, whatnot. Really? I think it's Alabama, like the Crimson Tide. We might go. Yeah. I think we're playing on the road, pretty sure. Anyway, we're going to do a live call-in show.
Yes, sir, live call-in show.
That Friday night, September 27th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
So join us. It's going to be a great night. The last call-in show we had here, Adam, was electric.
Electric.
We got to take it up another notch.
Another notch for conference play.
Yeah.
For conference play against another rival, Clark. I'm very excited. And for those listening right now, not this upcoming Friday night, and when you're probably listening to this episode, we got a bye week.
Yeah.
We got a bye week coming up this week. Much needed rest for the players and the fans alike. Mm-hmm. The fans to kind of get back in shape a little bit after what last Saturday night did to us a little bit, kind of get back in the routine of getting rested. So everybody just rest their vocal cords, just go on a nice hike, get in a deer stand, do whatever you like to do kind of on this upcoming Saturday to not think about Georgia football.
Absolutely.
Watch some other ball, not think about Georgia football, and then get prepared for what's going to happen in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, upcoming next time Georgia steps on the football field. Can't wait, baby.
Yeah. Adam, right quick, speaking about bye week.
Okay.
I have recently discovered something about myself, and I want to own a motorcycle. I'm not talking about a Harley Davidson here. I just want like an Indian motorcycle to be able to go up to the Northeast Georgia mountains and just cruise.
If you're gonna get a motorcycle, get a Harley Davidson.
No, come on. Well, Indian's a good brand too, though. They're an American made.
Brand, but still, yeah. I mean, it's just hard. But all right, I've got to. This is like
this is
baffled me. Like it almost left me speechless. I just see you looking like you're dang Vince Neil or Vince Neil or Nikki Sixx or somebody on the music video of girls riding down in your Harley and your leather, man. With your with your sunglasses on.
I probably don't look like the quintessential biker. McKay has already called me out for it. Caitlin has called me out for it.
How did this come about?
I don't know. I think I just saw it the other day. I was driving back from somewhere and somebody was riding a motorcycle and I was like, man, this is good weather to be riding a motorcycle in. Let me ask the people, if there's anybody out there who owns a motorcycle or wants to own one day, let me know your thoughts on it. Should I make the investment? They're not that much, honestly. I say they're not that much.
To ride a motorcycle.
Why not?
I've never had the desire to do it. I have been in the volunteer fire department, a first responder.
That's true.
Unfortunately, seen so, and I've seen it in the car too. That everybody does every single day. So don't judge it off of that. But yeah, man. I mean, if you want to, I
just want to cruise a couple of times up to the mountains.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I should just rent one.
I would love. Yeah. I mean, cruising up to Pigeon Forge on that bad boy. Yeah, that would be. Okay, all right. Well, this is just completely just blown my mind. Did not see that coming. A complete curveball. Was not expecting that tonight. Was getting juiced about talking about this game, and the car wants to get a motorcycle. Already having a midlife crisis at daggum age 27. I mean, what in the world?
Is this a quarter life crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something.
You know what I thought about this week, real quick, then we'll get back on it. But we got to lighten the mood, right? Everybody's tense, so we're going to lighten the mood for everybody real quick. I want a 1989 Camaro.
Nice.
Not a good looking Camaro, Clark. Judging off of what Chevrolet has pumped out in GM in the past, but the IROC 89 Camaros with the T-tops on them. Not one of the most desirable Camaros that Chevrolet's ever made, but I like them.
Okay.
I like them. If you look up a 1989 Camaro, it's not, like I said, it's not the flashiest thing on the eyes. But by gosh, that's me right there. I'll follow you on your motorcycle. We'll cruise, and I'll get in my IROC 89 Camaro, baby.
In the same way that you can't see me riding a motorcycle,
with a T-top.
I can't see you driving this.
Well, my dad had one back in the day.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Barry had one back in the day, so it's kind of like my childhood coming back. So, but anyway.
I did not know
that's
that.
what I thought about this week. So we're thinking, if you just brought up that desire, this week I had a desire to get an 89 Camaro. But anyway, that's
Golly.
yeah, just to lighten the mood a little bit. That was good. That was good. Kind of an icebreaker for this episode to touch on what happened.
Maybe the question we should pose to the people is, what vehicle would you want? Well, I guess what's your dream vehicle?
Well, everybody's got like dream. I mean, yeah, I want a Smokey and the Bandit 77 Trans Am. You know, a lot of people like old Chevelle, 68 Chevelle. A lot of people love the dang Shelby Mustangs. You know, the 69s or whatever those were. But how about just a rare vehicle that you want that maybe like my 89 Camaro that's kind of goes against the grain a little bit with what you want. So yeah, great question. Going into the bye week.
For the next bye week, we'll pose another icebreaker. But the reason I even brought that up.
What motorized vehicle?
Yeah, the reason I brought that up is like, man, I wish I could have a motorcycle this Saturday and just go cruise. Just get my mind off football for a little bit and go.
Well, I'm actually getting a new vehicle here.
Are you
Not
serious?
a new vehicle. I bought a 05 Chevy Duramax, another Duramax. Yeah, bought a motor for it last week.
Nice.
Needed a new motor, and gonna put the old 6.6 Duramax LLY in it. Excited about that. So,
Heck yeah.
Yeah, just good times. Good times.
Love it.
Big Chevrolet, man. Do not like Fords. Fords are equivalent to Florida.
Wow.
To Florida, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Tennessee in my book.
That's a harsh accusation right there.
They are.
Oh, man. Well, let's talk about this past Saturday, though. It was a great – I'm going to give you my perspective. Adam, I want to hear your perspective because I bet you were pacing the floor here in the studio, a.k.a. the shop. But, yeah, it was a great weekend. I got to travel up to Lexington with my two former college roommates, McKay and Baylor.
Yep.
Most of y'all know them if you've listened to this show long enough. And we just had a good guys trip. And, yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful ride up there. Lots of Kentucky fans actually showed up. I thought there would be less Kentucky fans just because they got, the brake speed off of them by Shane Beamer the week before. They did. And, but yeah, a lot of blue and black, not as much red and black, Adam.
Really?
And I even heard a Kentucky fan say, this is actually one of the worst showings I've seen from Georgia traveling up to Kentucky. And I don't know, it may just be because it's early in the year, and my theory is a lot of people are saving their money to go to Bama, to go to Texas, to go to Ole Miss. I mean, because
take out loans.
Yeah, take out loans, sell kidneys, whatever you got to do. Golly, I'm telling you, man.
Start selling supplies or something. I mean, my gosh. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of things you could sell.
It's getting crazy.
It is. Oh, and we are unbelievably obsessed, so we just have to go. And I don't have a kid yet. I'm sure that's going to change, Adam. You keep telling me this, just do it while you can.
That's right. Do it while you can. Enjoy it. Enjoy it this year, man. So I encourage that.
Yeah, but it was a great game day atmosphere. Kentucky, like I said, and you said, Adam, last week, even this is a great environment. They brought the juice. I do want to say one thing. I'm very, very mad about this.
Okay.
I'm over exaggerating a little bit,
yeah,
but I'm not going to tell the people that.
Right.
I am really mad that we did not take a pep band up to Lexington, Kentucky.
A derby band, if you will.
Ooh, was that a pun intended? Kentucky Derby.
That's true. Yeah. It fits. A derby band.
Yeah.
If you will. Yeah.
I just don't get it. This is the first game I've ever gone to in my entire life where Georgia has not had a form of a band present.
At least a couple clarinet players, big old boy on the old trombone. You get about three guys with a tuba and hit up about four on the snares, man. And then you get a Dr. Van whoever that's the director in a nice red and black tie and a black hat, conducting the band. And I mean, we strike up something.
Exactly.
We strike up something.
We don't need uniforms.
We just need the instruments.
Yeah.
We just need Buddy hammering the trumpet down there in section 303 and get the small contingent of Georgia fans that are lucky enough to be in the pocket of the family section. And when you hear Krypton striking up and you're in the upper deck and you can't hear them, you can't hear them, but you see the fours leaning forward, then you can all get in sync with them. Yeah, I mean, yes, tale as old as time. It's a tradition like none other on the road, man.
Gosh, it just ticks me off though, because whenever we would kick a field goal and make it, or whenever we scored our one and only touchdown of the game, it's almost like we were all looking around like, wait, did we score? Because I think in our minds, we always hear glory, glory playing right after a score.
And how in the world could you not? How did you not get juiced to go tell Jalen Walker to go get somebody on third down when you didn't hear the bomb bomb song?
The bomb bomb song?
The bomb 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 bomb. That's it.
That's called choker.
How'd you not get just juiced without that?
It was tough, I'm telling you. And during, speaking of fourth quarter and Krypton fanfare, you know, we hold up the lights. It's a night game.
Right.
It's beautiful environment, great night. And I'm thinking, man, the only thing that would really make this better is having a band, you know, playing Krypton fanfare, and we all do our fours. But nope, no pep band to be found. And I think that's just a travesty. I don't know if that's a funding issue. It's certainly not a capacity issue.
It can't be a funding issue, by gosh.
No, it better not be.
Better not be. I mean, we were taking the full bands to all these games in the early 2000s.
Right.
Like, they would go to Knoxville. They would, of course, go to the cocktail party. They would go to Tech. They would go to Auburn. They would go to Columbia, South Carolina. And now you just get a pep band at each of these road games except the full band at Florida, right? Mm-hmm. Or a postseason game. But yeah, it better not be a funding issue. I know there's a whole lot more money coming in.
It has to be a capacity thing where, hey, you're allotted a certain amount of tickets. But, I mean, we're talking about 25 people, if that.
Yeah.
You know,
we need to figure out, and anybody who was with the University of Georgia band,
yeah,
you know,
we support you.
That knows anybody. We love you first and foremost, right? We love you and appreciate what you do. I can't hammer on old trombone, but I love the people that do. I love hearing the snare get fired up, you know, when the band comes marching in. I really do. And I want to know what happened. So give us an explanation if you have a friend, loved one, family member that is currently a member of the Red Coat Band. Figure out why we didn't have a couple of them in Lexington.
Crazy.
We didn't know that stuff.
Maybe we should write a strongly worded letter to Josh Brooks about this
Set the
matter.
tone for the night. Set the tone.
Oh, man, you just never know what you're going to get on row 60. God, we're not even like a tenth of the way through the show. I feel like it's going to be a long episode, folks.
We just got to,
If you're in the car, buckle up. You should already be buckled.
Clark, I have noticed a trend when we record on the late night. We get a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
We get a little bit more loose. And
it is currently 9:46, Sunday, September 15th, as we're recording this. So
yes. We're
just getting started, folks. Let's do this.
All right.
A weekly concession stands report.
Hit that jingle, baby.
All right. What? You're
like
trying to snap.
Like that.
You're trying to make the soda pop.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And you snap. And it just didn't quite land. I thought you hit the mic by accident or something. All right, we need to restart this. Let me do this one more time. The weekly concession stands report.
Hit that jingle, baby.
Do you want to do a pop? Pop. Boom. There we go. All right, I got several items. First of all, I want to say, if you're in Lexington, Kentucky, you need to go to the KS Bar, the Kentucky Sports Radio Network. It's similar to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Radio Network.
No, it's not. The Kentucky Sports Radio Network is a renegade network that was started by a bunch of fans.
Oh, so they're not affiliated?
No, they've just took over the official one. So there's still an official one, and then you get the KSR, who has took over the official one.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is.
They're a big deal up there. Anyway, they have their own bar. Me, McKay, Baylor, we went, and it was awesome. They just a lively environment. They've got every game on in there imaginable, and a lot of Kentucky fans. But I'm telling you, their wings were phenomenal.
Good,
really good. Sweet barbecue wings there.
Good.
Also, Adam, right quick, I didn't get a $7 soft serve ice cream, but I saw a huge line of people getting $7 worth of soft serve ice cream. And honestly, it was not a lot. Yeah. I think people were getting ripped off, but that is a pretty cool feature at least to have. I think to have the cones, and then you pull the lever and then boom, they're soft serve.
Oh, in the stadium.
In the stadium.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is,
so it was a big hit.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty hot.
I like that.
Yeah. And then the last thing I got, Adam, and I'm glad I did this. And if you know, on row 60, we talk about the rally peanuts. The rally peanuts have saved us in several Georgia Bulldog games.
Football games.
Didn't
work in the baseball. Worked one time in the baseball game this past spring.
Yeah, but football games undefeated.
Yes.
When we need them.
Correct.
We got some rally peanuts in about the beginning of the third quarter, I believe. we got a handful of peanuts, passed them around. Baylor got some, McKay got some. We started eating them. And Adam, we started putting up some points and making some stops.
That's good.
It wasn't pretty, but the rally peanuts pulled through.
Oh, good.
And we started that tradition last year at Auburn when that was your idea, Adam.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
When I told everybody just needs to take a peanut to get some good
Juju.
good momentum, get good juju. That's exactly right. So that's what we're going to
need. And it works best in the third quarter. You can't do it
second
before right. You can't do it before halftime
when you need them.
Exactly.
Like kind of one of these things where it gets to a pivotal moment where you just know. It's one of those things you just know when it's time to go get the peanuts. And I would encourage fans now to go ahead and have your stash at
somewhere
home where you can pull them out as well, because we'll need everybody to get some peanuts in them. Coming up possibly with some of these games in the second half, they're too close. You gotta get some peanuts, man.
It's kind of like the fire axe. When you break the glass, you shatter the glass, get the fire axe out in case of emergency.
Yeah, just leave them in the cupboard until necessary, right? So that's what I encourage everybody to do is go to your local supermarket, the grocery store this week, find a daggone bag of peanuts. Make sure it's got roasted peanuts.
Salted too.
We love boiled peanuts, but for this particular instance, it has to be salted, roasted peanuts. Make sure it's got a good expiration date on them bad boys.
Yeah.
And put them in the cabinet in case we need them this year.
Well, even if they're stale, I think they'd work, but probably not as effective.
Yeah, so send us some pictures of everybody going and getting some bags of peanuts to stash for the remainder of the fall at your house or wherever you view Georgia football games, please.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. What are we talking about? This is great. Adam, I want to know, what did y'all eat here?
What I ate here, I ate some pizza. Some cheese dip.
Nice.
Some cheese dip. Had some pizza and cheese dip. Was eating, man. I'll be honest, it was a weird feel. I watched some ball, messing around with the cattle a little bit, and was not nervous all day Saturday. Felt good, Clark. Felt real good. And that's that's unlike me. I'm usually very nervous. But just this time I wasn't feeling nervous. Didn't really think it would be much of a game. Should have known better. Better. So that's kind of what we had going on here.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted you right before the game. It was almost a joke because I wanted to see if I could just get you a little anxious and riled up.
Right.
But I was serious. I think I was more serious than not. I texted you right before the game. I said, Adam, I don't have a good feeling about this. And you said, we're about to get beat. And I said, no, we're just going to come out flat. And sure enough,
hitting nail on the head.
I don't know what it is, but I get these certain feelings before a game. And this was not one where we're going to steamroll them. And you can ask Baylor and McKay as my witness. But one last note about, I guess, the atmosphere sort of was there were fans before the game, Kentucky fans. We got in several conversations with them. They were talking about how y'all are just going to kick our tails. How bad are y'all going to kick our tails today? Y'all take it easy on us today. This, that, and the other. I hate it too.
I hate it.
Yep. And I'm like, guys, listen, any given Saturday, y'all aren't believing enough, And hey, Mark Stoops had his team believing and ready to go. So once again, we're about to jump into that.
Yes, sir.
Right quick, I want to shout out a few people. First of all, Caleb Myers and Zach Rogers. Give them a hand.
Caleb and Zach a hand.
You want to know why? They are now Row 60 patrons.
Appreciate that, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
I believe,
welcome to the family.
Yes, that's right. We have just a fun time with our patrons, man, creating some exclusive content. We may even release this episode a little early for them.
Yeah, we need to do that. That'd be good.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That'd be good. Do that for the people.
We'll have some good content coming up in the works, some raw, unedited stuff too.
Yeah.
Do
you got some stuff coming up?
We may have some stuff in the archives I'm pulling out. That's a great thing. We have the treasure trove of just great content. Some it's just, I don't know if I want to release this, but anyway, welcome to the club, y'all. Caleb Myers and Zach Rogers. Appreciate y'all. Hey, if you're not on Patreon yet and you want to be, visit patreon.com/row60. Or you can download the Patreon app and search Row 60. It's only $5 a month.
Yes.
And it helps us get to more of these games and create more stuff for you guys.
Yes, we appreciate that. $5 a month, y'all. Like I said, that is one trip to cut out per month to the gas station and get a Mountain Dew and a fudge round.
A fudge round?
Yeah.
Is that your go-to?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Or a zebra cake. Zebra cake or something.
Okay.
Or Nutter Butter. One of the two, something like that. So, anyway, getting a soft drink, a big drink and a sweet at the gas station. You cut that out just one time a month and boom, Row 60 patron.
Bam. And you're welcome to the club. Yep. Hey, I do want to shout out one more person, Will Snipes. He's a patron, But the reason I'm shouting him out, he invited us to the Touchdown Club of Athens. They have a meeting. Got to see Dari Noka the other night. Really cool stuff, and I really appreciate him.
Appreciate that, Will.
And while I was there, Adam, I saw an awful lot of Peach State Pride shirts.
Oh, did you?
Like
Nice.
everybody was in their Peach State Pride shirts. And I tell you, you got your Peter Millar, you got some other brands out there, but Peach State Pride, they've got it at a good price.
You dang right.
know,
And
it's competitive, it's classy. It feels great on a game day. I'm actually wearing
Pride shirt for YouTube viewers.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing one now. They just released this with their Block G, which I like.
Yeah,
like
I do too. I know it's classy. It's classy, and that's the thing I like. They have several options of polo that you can wear for any occasion. Church, game days, obviously, formal and casual gatherings and everything. Just I love it. They've been with us since day one.
They really have.
This is our 4th year with Peach State Pride. Talking about their stuff on the show. These hats that I wear, you can get them on peachstatepride.com or visit them storefront. Look up the stores that they have around the state and everything. And I really love the hats that they have, and been wearing them for a long time.
You have,
and it's just that good people over there.
Absolutely,
true Georgians. That's what I like about it. Is Georgians who has created this and founded this, and y'all go check them out.
Go check them out. peachstatepride.com. All right, Clark's fun facts. Here we go.
Boom.
Boom. A small boom, because it's a pleasant tune that plays for Clark's fun facts.
That's right.
Georgia has won 42 straight regular season games. Adam, I said this last week. I'm going to say it again. This is going to continue to be a fun fact until we lose a regular season game, which may be this upcoming
2
game.
weeks. 2 weeks from
I said upcoming game, not week. But
that's right.
Anyway, we're going to continue to bask in that because that is a spectacular statistic, in fact. Yep. Kentucky, Adam, has not crossed the goal line in their own stadium versus Georgia since 2018. I don't think anybody's said that.
but
I was thinking
I'm glad
that
you put it in that. I've heard it in other ways talked about these past 3 games up there, but I haven't heard it stated exactly like that. And you're 100% correct.
I was thinking that during the game, and I almost said it in about the 4th quarter. I was like, guys, they haven't crawled. And then I just started thinking, I was like, I'm not going to jinx it.
No, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, I said last week they would not cross the goal line, and they still haven't, which is kind of crazy, in their own stadium once again versus Georgia.
Yeah.
In the last 5 seasons, Georgia has been held below 20 points on the road 3 times, all 3 of those being in Kentucky. 16 points in 2022 is what we scored, 10 points in 2020, and then 13 points in 2024. That doesn't seem right. 2020, was that?
Wait, 2020?
No, 14. Sorry.
14 points in 2020.
That's right.
That weird COVID game on Saturday afternoon. It was 16-6 in 22.
That's right. Yeah. And then 13 points. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, we have not scored over 20 since 2018 at Kroger Field. That's crazy.
I don't know. It's wild. I don't have an explanation. Just physical.
And I just want to say this. Let's bring this up very briefly, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Everybody's on the Mike Bobo hate train. A lot of people.
Got
a lot of people. Not all people, but a lot of people are. And people want to say Monken. And don't get me wrong, I love Todd Monken.
Deja vu again.
I know.
Did we not just do this the same time last year?
Exactly. Well, it's
Did we
a good
write about
reminder
him on the board?
Yeah.
Last year? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Proceed.
But I just think Mike Bobo's doing a fantastic job. Did he call a bad game? Yeah, maybe. And he'd probably admit it to you.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
Regardless, look, Todd Monken only scored 16 points against Kentucky 2 years ago with arguably just as good of an offense, if not better of an offense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the Mike Bobo's argument, the hatred, it's lazy. Maybe.
True.
Would you say that?
Yeah. I'm 100% there. No, I'm not going to. I think, we'll talk about it when with the offense. It wasn't his finest game, but I'm not ready to just go with what I've read on the internet with all these people are saying. I mean, golly, look at what the offense did last year.
Yeah. Well, top 5 offense in the nation. I don't know. I don't get it. We are glass half full people. Adam.
We are.
If there's one thing I've learned from you, you're like my bigger brother.
That's
We're
right.
cousins, but
That's right.
You're my bigger brother in that sense. But if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's to be an optimist and to have your glass or your water bottle or whatever it is in life about half full.
That's about 3/4 full right there.
Yeah, I'll get
That's
that. Anyway, Georgia had its fewest first half yards since 2009 versus LSU. That's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That game was awful. That was the imaginary AJ Green taunting call. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That is a crazy stat.
No top 25 team was upset this week, Adam. This is the first time in the regular season since week 4 in 2013 that a top 25 team was not upset.
That is a great statistic.
Isn't that wild?
Right there.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's good.
It's crazy. Georgia, last one right here. Georgia has won 28 straight in conference play. They broke Alabama's streak of 27 games.
And that was a record by the Bear, not Nick Saban. Correct?
Right. Yes.
That's right. About the late 70s, I'm sure. Great clap right there, man. That one really hits you.
It does.
It shows where we're at in the historic run we're on.
And some people will say, wait a minute, doesn't that include the SEC championship? It actually doesn't. According to this stat, at least, it doesn't. So that wouldn't include, losing to Alabama last year in the SEC championship. I think it's talking about regular season in conference games.
Yes, of course.
All right. Let's talk about this past Saturday specifically.
Let's dive head first into it.
I like it.
Right off the diving board head first. Let's go.
I'm going to rehash what we said last week.
Okay.
I took the notes that we had from last week.
Good.
And I want to just run bullet point through bullet point what we said.
Okay.
And let's see how it kind of matched up with what happened. Kentucky will come out and throw some punches, but can they hang with Georgia for 4 quarters?
Okay.
Yes.
They can.
The answer to all that was yes.
Okay.
I don't really expect them to play as sloppy as they did last week. I think I said that. If I didn't, at least in my notes.
You probably said that. I didn't because I thought they were. But go ahead.
But even then, we should have beat them by more than what we did. So, yes, they will at least play with more energy than against Scar, South Carolina. Georgia can't go sleepwalking into this football game. We both said that. What did we do? Came in sleepwalking. It seemed like, at least.
Yep.
Kentucky wants to keep possession of the ball as long as humanly possible. You can't let Brock pick up first down with his legs. He picked up a couple, but they definitely dominated the time of possession. We're going to get to that in just a second. Kentucky is going to have to lean on their defense as much as possible. And they did. Their defense played excellent.
Yep.
I mean, they just whipped us up front defensively.
They did.
And then they'll have to bring some heat. And they did. They didn't exactly get to Carson, but they brought heat.
And they did it, Clark. Not with bringing like 5 or 6 guys where Carson could pick them apart or anything. They got there with the base rush.
Yep. Which for them, a lot of times was 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Got home with 3 or 4. And great coverage on the back end as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of, we're going to get later on to that and talk more about that. But yeah, I mean, they were able to disrupt Carson in the pocket without just sending a bunch of exotic blitz packages or disguises. I mean, it was really just man on man. Just their base rush was dominating our offensive line.
Right.
Call it like it is.
Yeah. So let's talk about the offense.
Okay,
we'll start with the line, I think. Surprisingly enough, you may have watched that game and been like, gosh, our offensive line played terrible. And there's maybe some merit to that statement. But the line didn't actually give up a sack.
Hey, yeah, that is wild.
And I felt like we got sacked. Obviously we didn't, but just feels like we did. And there were only 3 tackles for loss. So in your mind, Adam, was it more Kentucky just dominated us, or is it, man, our offensive line just didn't gel? We just didn't have a good day.
Well, I think it's a little both. You can't go through here and not tip your hat to Kentucky. They surprised me. They made me eat crow because I thought they were going to lay down and just squander after what happened against South Carolina. But no, they did the complete opposite. They came out with their hair on fire, wounded animal mode, right? And it's a Mark Stoops, Brad White defensive line like we should have expected. And no, Georgia's all, preseason Joe Moore Award hyped offensive line should have definitely done better and had a better showing against them. And I think it was a mixture of both, Clark. But one thing about it, man, is they got whipped. And when you get whipped in football, you just got to say you got whipped. You can't make excuses for it. I mean, that offensive line, seeing Tate Ratledge go down, probably going to have the same surgery Brock Bowers did last year, is what early reports are saying probably. It's not good. He's kind of your anchor there. Yeah. But also, Clark, we talked about this before too. How many times has it took almost a quarter of the season until you feel like the offensive line is just jailed the past couple of years?
It's been a lot. I mean, like that's happened a lot
to get to the elite level
Right,
that they should
yeah.
be, right? I mean, it's not one of those things where they just plug in and just dominating from day one a lot of the times. I mean, we've seen this in the Kirby Smart, even back to everybody's Todd Monken talking about, which we love Todd Monken here. Todd Monken, Matt Luke offensive lines, Sam Pittman offensive lines, Stacey Cyril's offensive lines. It just seems like it takes a couple games, almost to really the end of September, until you see them really humming, I feel like, Clark. And I think that's what we saw last night. I think we're going to see some shifts on the offensive line. I think Ernest Green had a bad night.
He did.
I hate to single the guy out,
Yeah.
but Monroe Freeland came in there, and I think he's better at that tackle spot. And I think, Clark, look out. What if you shifted Green to guard with the absence of Ratledge?
You could.
And then you still have Micah Morris floating
Right.
for Fairchild and him too, and it creates depth. So I don't know. That'll be interesting to see what Coach Searles and Bobo and Kirby have planned going into Tuscaloosa. Obviously, I think it's safe to say Tate Ratledge will not be playing in Tuscaloosa, which it hurts.
He's not going to be playing for
For a while.
For
Is what
it sounds
There's
like.
not an official report, but that's what rumors are. And the way he looked on TV with anytime you're wearing a boot and a brace on your knee, a boot and a brace.
Yeah.
Not
I
good.
hate it for him.
And I hate
He
it
just
for him,
can't
man.
catch a break.
He can't. He got hurt in 21 and missed the whole year after the first game, but maybe, of course, he'll be back. So guys are going to have to step up. But that's happened every year at Georgia on the offensive line. That's why you got to have depth there.
Yeah, I do feel like we do have depth, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you do. And then just one last thing, Clark. Trust, as much as I think Amarius Mims disappointed us at the back end of his career at Georgia, he was very much a talent at tackle. And as much as Xavier Truss has played ball, he isn't to that level that Mims was at that spot. And I just think it's just going to take some time getting everybody jailed. Jarrett Wilson was replacing of what we talked about, probably one of the best centers ever played at Georgia, and Cedric Van Pran. And Jarrett Wilson's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is going to be great. I really think that. And it's a lot of them, man, it's their first time as a unit, too, playing on the road, getting – and you were there. I mean, was the crowd environment enough to kind of not being able to hear, snap counts and everything?
I mean, we were snapping the ball a lot of times within 10 seconds of the play clock.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the crowd was certainly a
So your
factor.
center is his first start on the road in that environment.
Yeah, it was.
And how much does that hurt rhythm if he's not there completely? But I mean, I know lining up and blocking the man on man, but just from the rhythm, from the snap, everything going. I mean, that's just something to look at too.
Yeah. I got to say, too, Deion Walker, that kid, I don't know how we didn't talk about him. Actually, Baylor, shout out Baylor again, he called us out for that one.
Yep.
He said, y'all missed on that. He's right. That Walker kid is an absolute freak.
I was thinking about that too, because I remember we were hoping he would enter the portal and we were going to get him at Georgia in the offseason.
Yeah. Big kid, number 0. Y'all should remember that that kid. He's just a unit, man.
Yep.
And wow, ought to be a first-round draft pick. Just he tore up our interior line. But I will say this, for our offensive line, I think we did pretty well in pass pro. It's just the run blocking. We just didn't really get a good rhythm offensively. I think it's just a combination of things. It's easy right now to single out the offensive line, but and they'd be the first to tell you they didn't play the best. But I do think it's a combination of a lot of different little things. Another big thing in this game, Adam, too, was penalties. Georgia had 9 penalties for 85 yards, and it's just tough, man. You're putting yourself in really, really bad positions when you get these penalties. And, 85 free yards for Kentucky. That's a lot in this kind of a game.
Yeah, I agree, Clark. I think that's tough, man. I think it was a combination of a lot of people just not having their best night, and that's what happens,
Right.
what you saw. And, I think tight end room did not have their best night.
Blocking wise,
and Oscar Delp's got a hold on the football, even resulting back to last. Thankfully, that was a fumble that was recovered by Arian Smith right there, and it advanced instead of having a 3rd and short and during a pivotal time in the game. It was a first down.
Yeah.
So great awareness by Arian Smith there, but blocking wise, if you're going to throw a lot of horizontal stuff, Clark, and be a big part of your game plan, you have to execute blocks on the perimeter with your tight ends and your receivers.
I got to be honest with you. I think
You
that's
have to.
one of our – I'm not going to say it's a glaring weakness or anything, but I do think that's a point of concern moving forward is, hey, we got to seal these blocks on the outside. Because here's the thing, and credit credit Kentucky here. Their secondary came up excellent and played excellent in run support. So swing passes. Anytime we tried to run an outside zone run, anything like that, off tackle, they were there. But at the same time, we didn't help ourselves because we didn't even get a block on these guys. We didn't even knock them off their course. Yeah. So that's a good point there, Adam. Our perimeter blocking has got to.
And to play wide receiver at Georgia for Kirby Smart, you got to be block. You got to know how to block. That's one of the biggest things, obviously, and with the tight end room as well with that. And everybody just has an off night, so I'm not ready to sound the alarms yet. But that was something that was very obvious watching on TV.
Yeah,
is you've got to get better at that. And one thing too, man, I felt like the offense was better when we went vertical, when we started to push the ball downfield. Now, maybe we wanted to get more vertical and push the ball downfield a little bit more. Coach Bobo was. And where everybody is talking about Bobo's hate and everything of what was wrong, you got to see how your players and the battle of the trenches is going.
Right.
And I felt like I personally felt like Carson was not in sync the whole game.
Yeah.
I felt like that. Yes, he was getting some pressure and he was throwing to his checkdowns a little too quick, not seeing the field. Rather it be that the defensive line was getting to him too quick, not making them being able to get in a rhythm and get comfortable in the pocket, or were our receivers not getting great separation against Kentucky secondary. There's a mixture of everything. So was Bobo not able to call plays to make it to stretch the field and go vertical because of all this that we're talking about? But then again, in the second half, when we really started to move the ball and have that touchdown drive, we had some good passes going vertical and stretching it downfield a little bit, Clark. But I don't know. I just I think it wasn't Carson's best night. Didn't really look confident out there.
No, I mean,
kind of like he did at Auburn last year.
Right. It's a little timid, and I think that just the timing was off just from the first drive.
Yeah.
And one note I had here. Let's see, second drive of the game. I'm not going to call out the kid, but there was a guy missed a key block two plays in a row. And there was a bubble screen to
Aaron Smith.
Was it Arian? I
Yeah,
thought it was Dylan. Or sorry, Dominic.
It might have been. I don't know.
It might have been Arian. Anyway, just didn't get the right block. But I'm telling y'all, on that screen, he was not going to be. That was 6. He takes that 80 yards for 6.
That's
if we seal it.
Where I think there was about 3 or 4 plays last night that if you are executing them on the field, whether it be getting separation, making the right read, making the right block, it's 6.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
there was at least 3 plays last night you could have said.
Well, and there's another play. Carson made a great play. He kind of evaded a defender, launched it downfield to Dylan Bell, overshot him. Big moment in the game on a post route.
Yeah.
It was wide open.
That's right.
Arian Smith on the same play, wide open.
Yeah.
He had 2 guys wide open. And, that was a great play call. But because it didn't work, because we didn't execute it, oh, wait a minute. This is on, we tend to keep pointing fingers at Mike Bobo. This is not Mike Bobo's problem solely. Once again, probably didn't call his best game. He'd tell you that.
Yeah.
But I just think, man, you can't put it all on the coaches. I don't even think you can put it all on the players. It's a team game, right? And we just didn't get our timing right.
It was just the right mixture of Kentucky's defensive front bringing their A-plus game, and then the combination of Georgia's offensive line, Bobo and Carson Beck not being at their best, and that's what you get is 13 points in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to just sit here and point fingers at this, and that, because everybody in that offensive room can point fingers at themselves. I mean, besides, I think Trevor Etienne played the best offensively. That kid ran hard. I felt like he was a leader out there, and that's the beautiful thing that you could take away from games like what happened in Lexington, Clark. Because, I mean, really we hadn't even talked about it. Who's the leaders on this team? Hopefully some leaders emerged on those sidelines in Lexington in the second half or in that locker room.
Yeah. Did you hear Kirby's post-game presser?
No.
Basically, he said, listen, I learned a lot about my team tonight. Essentially what you just said. Yeah. I learned we've got some leadership in this.
That's good.
And that's what you love to hear out there.
That's what you got to have to go the distance. And especially with this expanded playoff, man, because there's going to be so much adversity that Georgia is going to see this year down in games, very close games where – when the culture and the leadership that is instilled and the belief in one another and the belief in the coaches that they are going to have you in the right spots, make plays, and have that confidence, and that takes over, and that's when you execute plays and you win football games, Clark.
Right.
In big moments, man.
For sure.
And I think that's something that the offense is going to grow from, man. And I just don't think we'll see this replicated performance in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I just think it was just a bad night.
Right.
Just a bad night.
Here's a good thing. I think everything we saw last night that went kind of wrong is fixable. I do firmly believe that.
I agree.
And you're going to use this bye week. Kirby said it in his post-game presser again. He said, everybody thinks it's all about, relax, restoration, bye week. And yeah, part of that is true, but he's like, no, it's time to get better, right? And I like that approach. Hey, guys, we may be banged up. We got to keep pushing through. We got to get better. So I really appreciate Kirby and his leadership there with that.
Well, it's the perfect recipe, Clark, for going into a bye week and plus a big game on the road again, the SEC. Kirby Smart's got their attention now.
Yeah.
The attention has been got by Coach Smart right here going into being able to learn and get better after what happened Saturday night. And I'm not ready to sound the alarm saying, oh, this offensive line's overrated, or oh, Carson Beck is got in his head the NIL stuff, or Coach Bobo needs to go, all this finger point, man. And then the biggest thing, too, is everybody's talking about now the whiffs at the wide receiver recruiting. Yeah, there's been some whiffs. Yeah, I'd love to see Jeremiah Smith in red and black. But, I mean, I've thought that we have a talented enough wide receiver room to win a national championship.
We do. We still do.
And I just don't. I don't know, man. I think, though, I think you could say Carson Beck missed number 19 and 84, especially on third and longs. That 19 was a unicorn. And in Auburn last year, to win that game, you had to have him. He had to just take over. And I think last night, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And maybe there is some chemistry issues with Carson Beck right now in this wide receiver room that does need to get fixed. Maybe the separation wasn't the best there, and some guys do have to step up and play better, but I still like the guys in that room. No, it is not the receiver room that we've seen in the Alabamas, the Ohio States, but I still think it's talented enough to have an offense that will win a national championship. For sure. Not like they played Saturday night, obviously.
Yeah.
But work out a few kinks and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know why. Yeah, I kind of get it, but I really don't get it. Why people are messing with this receiver room. It's a very talented unit. We just didn't. Once again, never found a rhythm, and that's a trickle down effect. And you start looking, and you start really nitpicking and overanalyzing. I don't think it's necessary, guys. These guys know what they're doing, and I trust them. I trust this receiver room too. Dominic Lovett, 6 receptions, 89 yards. He played amazing, right?
Well, again, it's one of those guys who's going to step up from week to week in that room we talked about.
He stepped up in my
opinion. Guy last night. Yeah, exactly.
Made some huge catches, including the one at the very end. I think it was kind of an out route. It's a big second down. We needed to put the game on ice. He came in clutch. So I think if you're asking for, okay, who's going to be the guy that does step up on third downs, Dominic's the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we see more of London Humphreys. I think he could step up eventually and take the reins.
There was a
third down.
Big back shoulder throw to Colby Young.
Kind
of reminiscent of Aaron Murray back in the day.
Yeah, Malcolm Mitchell.
And Malcolm Mitchell, that's exactly right. That I thought, man, you never know when you could get him on the perimeter matched up one-on-one, a big body guy like that, something we hadn't seen in Georgia in a long time, especially in goal line and the red zone situations, man. Yes, they have to get better. Yes, they can't play like they did Saturday night. Everybody knows that. But the whole sky's falling that you see on Georgia message boards, social media or whatever, don't buy into it right now. It's not time to hit the panic button. This is a deja vu of September episodes we've done the past 2 years. Late September episodes we've done the past 2 years.
Right.
And let's just see what happens,
For sure. I just want to read through some numbers here. Okay. Trevor Etienne, 19 carries, 79 yards. Man, he ran his butt off. Very proud of him. And, he definitely took a leadership role last night. Branson Robinson had the one long touchdown, and I'm telling you, go back and watch that run. Very physical run, very hard run.
No dancing in the back. Hit the hole hard. That's what we want to see. Get some confidence.
Yep, found a touchdown there late in the game. Carson went 15 for 24, 160 passing yards. Not phenomenal, but, 5 carries, 18 yards. We did what we had to do to win this game.
One key thing, Clark, about this offense, and nobody's wanting to talk about because they're wanting to complain too much about play calling, Carson Beck, wide receivers not getting separation, offensive line. One thing that Georgia has not done in the first 3 games of the year that if you continue this trend throughout the season, is again another recipe to a national championship. Is they have not turned the ball over yet in 3 games.
Knock on wood here, Adam.
Knock
Go ahead.
Knock on wood.
Everybody knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
And if you're in the car, when you get home, go find
phenomenal.
a cabinet or something.
Yeah, exactly. Knock on wood. But yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that, but yeah, you're right. Jeez Louise. A few more notes here. This is baffling, but it's kind of not at the same time. Kentucky had 23 first downs to Georgia's 12. 12. Total yards. Kentucky outgained us 284 to 262 Georgia. Passing yards. We got them here, but it wasn't by a lot. 160 us. Kentucky had 114 rushing yards. They outrushed us 170 yards to our 102 yards. I think I don't have the official number, Adam, but I think this is the most telling stat of the night. Kentucky had something like 70, don't quote me on this, 79-ish, maybe even into the 80s plays offensively.
Yeah.
Georgia had only about 50-something.
Yeah.
And when you get 30 extra plays, you're able to push the ball downfield a little bit more. You're getting extra possessions, or not possessions necessarily, but you're getting extra time.
Right.
So they definitely won the time of possession.
Well, I got some things to say about that when we get to the Georgia defense.
Yeah. And we're about to move on. So the time of possession, last stat I have for you here. Kentucky had the ball for 35 minutes. Georgia had it for essentially 25. So 10 extra minutes Kentucky had.
Wow. Well, really, the last thing I have to say about the offense is people don't buy into just falling off the ledge after one game performance. We've seen this before. Yes, it was historically bad in the sense I hadn't had this, few yards in the first half since 2009 or something. But when you base stuff on people's performance with a trend, Clark, a trend is not one game.
Yeah, trend is multiple games. It's really the course of
I'm not ready to just dive in and just get out pitchforks and torches and everything, until you get a few weeks down the road and see where we're at with it, So see what happens, see where this team grows and learns from that. And let's just not give rival fan bases a good laugh with just idiotic posts and stuff. Saying. Right now. I mean, just craziness. I mean, nobody had their best night, and that's the result of when you're not prepared in the sense of, your mind's not where you need to be, and ultimately that's going to fall back on Kirby, and he's not going to let that happen again. So, anyway, here's what it is. Let's see what happens. I feel like it'll be completely different going forward.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, Adam, I don't know about our offense, but our defense played really good, and people are going to be like, did they? Yeah, they did.
They did.
I really believe that. They bowed their necks when they had to. They made plays. Yeah, we didn't tackle the best. Yeah, we got whipped a little bit on the line of scrimmage. But overall, I mean, they did what they had to do to win this game. And they won us this football game for sure. They put it on their backs, and they did what they did.
Like they have so many times, Clark. And, the tackling wasn't up to the Georgia standard. But in the same sense, Clark, they did what they had to do. The defensive line – Clark, one thing about it, man, is it is a depleted unit, right?
It is.
And Kentucky was able to, and not what you want to do. Obviously, you're not going to win football games if you let this be a trend. How many times did Kentucky start off getting about 5 yards of pop off first down?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I mean, there was a bunch of second and fives, and then third and manageables, and they were and Georgia's defense couldn't get off the field on third down a lot of time. There was a very high rate of third down conversions by Kentucky's offense, but Georgia still would bow their neck when they needed to. A bend but don't break type deal there at moments, man. And like you said, might not have been up to standard, but still a very well played game defensively in the sense of just some of the guys I want to highlight is Jalen Walker's the best player on defense.
Oh, by
I think
far.
he is a special talent.
Malachi.
I mean, Malachi, but Jalen Walker,
unreal.
There were some plays that he single-handedly killed drives for Kentucky, and he's special. And we need to enjoy why he's there. We talked about him last year, why he didn't play as much as he did in some areas, but I think he should be on the outside. And Eaton, man, you don't have Mykel Williams. You didn't have – basically you were out. I think Xavier McLeod got in the game a few plays, but you don't have Jordan Hall. You didn't have Warren Brinson. You didn't have Mykel. You had a defensive line who was getting gassed and very, very thin there. And I want to see what this defensive front is like going into Tuscaloosa with hopefully Michael back, and we'll just see who else, man. So
hey, you're right. Jalen Walker, absolutely unreal. You know, the guy doesn't get a ton of stats. Like, I think maybe he had 2 tackles, and both of those might have been assisted or maybe one solo. Anyway, but, man, if you really watch him, he just attacks, man. And that's what I love about him. He's so freaking quick.
he is.
There was an unbelievably dumb call passing or, roughing the passer call.
Oh, that was
I
stupid.
think that was the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. Even Kentucky fans around us were like, that should not have been called. And when the opposing fan base is saying that, when the number 1 team comes rolling in, they're saying that, it must have been a pretty bad call. I think it's a stupid rule. I do understand what the rule is, but there's nothing egregious about what he did. And that shifted some momentum because I want to say they managed to get their way downfield and at least put points on the board. But, man, I mean, you get that sack or whatever, or not sack. I mean, he didn't complete the pass. It's third down.
Third down stop, bro. Well,
Right.
that was a third down right there. Yeah, they were punting.
Yeah, and that impacted the game in a big way. That call. So, and then the very next play, so they get the first down because it's a stupid penalty. Damon Wilson is 1 step away from absolutely decapitating Brock Vandagriff, and then get a defensive penalty or a defense pass interference. So then you move them down the field even more. That's what I'm saying. There's very untimely penalties, especially on defense. You had them on third down, 3rd and 6, 3rd and something, and then all of a sudden there's a penalty that just pushes them a little further downfield. And it killed us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about it, man, is the defensive there's a lot of guys. I don't think C.J. Allen had his best night, but guys stepped up when other guys weren't having their best nights, and there was enough guys that stepped up that still made this a complete, just pretty good showing by the defense, Clark. Like you said, Jonell Guaro.
Oh my gosh, he played lights out.
What a great guy to have at that nickelback star position, Clark. I think he's a stud and needs to be talked about more. Now that he's healthy and hopefully stays healthy, he's going to have a big impact at that star position this year.
You got to be really aware of the play, how the play's flowing, where the offensive linemen are moving, heading towards. You got to have your head on a swivel at that star position. I bet that's one of the hardest places to play on this Georgia defense. But, yeah, I mean, he's been phenomenal. He made some really big tackles last night. A guy I want to shout out is Dalen Everett.
Yeah.
And if you had something else,
I do. But this is good lead up to it.
Dalen Everett, man, he got kind of picked on because he's on the best receiver that any team will have. I'm not talking about his pass coverage. What I am talking about is his ability to make open field tackles on the outside. And there were several times last night where if he doesn't make a tackle, it's a much bigger game.
Monster.
So
It's
Dalen
an
Everett,
explosive.
Dalen Everett, man, played really, really good. I thought in terms of being able to tackle properly.
Yeah.
So
and going off of that, I'm going to go to the opposite side cornerback. Shout out to Julian Humphrey, Clark, a guy who had more playing time than he probably thought he was going to have on Thursday, in the sense of Daniel Harris getting arrested before going to Lexington. So that was a distraction that entered the building right before Georgia left to Lexington. That came out Friday morning. Another, I don't even want to talk about the speeding traffic, the violations at this point. It's ridiculous and inexcusable. I don't know what the answer is. That's not for me to decide or to have an opinion on. I just know it's getting to the point of embarrassing now, and and that's something that we're just going to focus on stuff on the field now, and hopefully that gets corrected. But it is what it is. And Julian Humphrey had to step up, Clark, because there wasn't no rotating with Daniel Harris Saturday night, and I thought he did well, did a very good job. That corner position opposite Eddie.
for sure. Dan Jackson, I thought, played really well too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
There was
Yeah, he did.
second defensive play. So I mean, I guess it'd have been Kentucky's second play from scrimmage offensively. We were about to sack Brock Vandagriff in the end zone, in their end zone rather. It would have been a safety. He broke it off for a big run.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting
Dan
though?
was coming too.
Oh, he was coming. He was
down.
flying down the field, man. But I'll tell you, here's what's really interesting. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I looked it up, and I'm almost positive this is true. We allowed 0 explosive plays, meaning 20. I'm saying 20 yards plus.
Yeah.
None the whole night.
Wow.
Now, you feel like if you watch that game, you're like, God, there had to have been a play that was 20-plus yards. No, there wasn't. There was some that are 18. But my point is here, Georgia, Kentucky did just take what we gave them. It's like kind of a react and go kind of defense that we play. We're going to read the defense, and then we're going to react. Right?
Yeah. And I think what Kentucky's success was, like you said, not having the explosives was what we alluded to earlier. They got in so many third and manageable positions that were able to convert, pick up first downs on third and manageable, extend drives, eat up time of possession, and that's what made it feel like that.
Right. Defensive line, I think we did what we had to do on the line. We stuffed some holes, but what they did a good job of, Kentucky, they bounced the ball so many times.
They did.
That what's his name? Demi Sumo Carnbe. That kid, he was very patient. He waited. If the holes are collapsing, he's going to bounce it out to the outside. Here's a problem though. Here's why I think they picked up more yards than what they should have. It's because their offensive linemen were chipping. They were getting to our second level, to our linebackers, and then throwing them off, because those are the guys that normally come into play. So then that leaves your secondary making the plays, which that's not exactly who you want stopping the run. I mean, they can, and our guys do, but you don't want to leave it up to them.
Tackle football.
Right.
No, and that's going back to why I don't think C.J. Allen had his best night, because they were getting that second level.
Yeah.
Blocking. You're exactly right. I think as far as the defensive line, Ingram Dawkins, I feel like there's a difference. He's in the game.
Yeah.
I think you saw it last year when he returned at Florida. A group that very depleted, as we said, man. Got to get some guys back there. Man, and get them healthy and continue to improve every single week to have that elite defensive line, man. And I don't know if it'll be an elite defensive line, but an improved defensive line from last year I still think will be there. It's just right now, man, people have got to realize that you had 4 defensive linemen. Well, 3, I guess, but still Macleo might not be in game form yet. Just got a few snaps. That you get Jordan Hall back. You get Warren Brinson back, and of course Mike Hill, man. It makes a difference. It'll make a difference. Yeah. So just remember that when you're going back watching this game, or you're thinking about the D-line performance. And
that's why you recruit. And the guys that were in there Saturday night, I thought did as good of a job as they could have. Once again, credit Kentucky's offensive line. They played a lot better than I think anyone expected them to play. We did get 3 sacks on Brock Vandegrift. I thought when we brought pressure, we got to Brock. I mean, when it was a true drop back pass kind of situation, when we rushed 5, man, we did affect the throws. We did get him out of rhythm, which is good. That's what you want. That's right. The downside to sending 5 to 6 people like we did is you're putting your corners and your safeties on an island. You got those one-on-one matchups. And once again, Brock, man, he made a couple of really good throws. I was very impressed with his performance.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some throws that were like, but overall, I think he played a pretty good game. He went 14 for 27.
A whole lot better than the week before, man.
For
and
sure.
I hope that Kentucky fans have kind of changed their tune about Brock after that, and I hope that he goes on and Kentucky has a great year and wins the rest of their football games.
Yeah. I don't want to play him again.
No,
actually, I would. I think we'd be better off
just
next
not
time.
in Lexington.
Yeah, not anywhere but Lexington. We can play them in Louisville.
The good news is we're probably not going to go back to Lexington until 27 or 28.
2027, yeah.
Wait, no. It'll be like 2028 maybe. No, 29 possibly.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're going to have everything flipped from this year's schedule in 25, and then you're going to have a whole new group. But I don't know if there might still be 2 or 3 opponents that are still there. I know Florida will be one, Auburn will, but we'll see. I don't know.
Anyway, defensively, though, I think we were in position a lot of times. We just couldn't make the play. And sometimes you have that. But
just off night of tackling and
but
stuff,
overall, I think
great.
We did pretty good defensively.
I would say so. 100%, man. I mean, how couldn't you complain about the defense? We were in 3 games, and we have played 2 teams, Clark, that's had a pulse.
Yeah.
Some teams can't say that, but we've played 2 teams that have had a pulse and have not given up a touchdown through 3 games.
It's insane. Yeah. Power 5, 2 Power 5.
The next time Georgia will step on the field is September 28th, and that defense going into that game has not allowed a touchdown yet.
I don't think that trend continues after the next one. But hey,
we'll talk about that later. But it just is right now, just
right.
I mean, what more can you ask?
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Need to continue to improve defensively. They know that. We know it. Everybody knows it. Offense, same thing. We're going to move on. The past is in the past. This game is over. Let's just flush it out of our memories. And,
just get a win. You just get up there and you get a win, man. And a lot of teams, if they come out and they have that many guys off, not in sync, overlooking an opponent, that mindset, you lose that football game. But the culture and the foundation that's been built at Georgia, you somehow find a way to win. And a lot of teams you go back have had games like that. Right. Georgia has during the Kirby Smart years and some championship years. Any sport you see that happen, but culture and just the foundation that's been built in Athens wins you those football games.
For sure.
If you want to say, and Saban had those games too. Alabama 2014, never forget. They won the SEC that year, made the playoffs that year. Barely beat a pretty bad Arkansas team, 14-13 in Fayetteville. I remember that because I was in a hotel room for the Georgia-Missouri game.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember watching that thinking, oh, my gosh, and that just popped in my mind. So, I mean, this is part of the sports, part of the game. You don't want it to become a trend, but see how this team gets better. And I promise you they will within the next 2 weeks and going into big-time game in Tuscaloosa.
For sure.
Man.
Championship teams find ways to win.
Find ways to win, learn from it, and get better from it.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen in Athens. I promise you that.
Last but not least, Georgia's special teams. Glad to have Peyton Woodring and Thorson, man. Those are two just weapons. We talk about it every single week. Peyton Woodring went 2 for 2, hit 2 big field goals, long of 34. And then Thorson had 6 punts. Don't like him being out there 6 times, but he did a great job. 297 yards. I think he bombed a 50-something yarder. Kentucky fan behind me said, that is the best punter I think I've ever seen in my life.
That's awesome.
Then he shanked a couple. But, 3 inside the 20, that's what you want. He coffin cornered one. So, hey, hats off to Brett.
You take it for granted. A lot of college football fans take for granted when you have a good, consistent kicking game and the punter and kicker, and that is another key formula into getting to your ultimate goal.
For sure.
And it's not talked about enough, but especially on the road in environments like last night, what Thorson did, you have got to tip your hat to him. You got to tip your hat to Kentucky, man. They proved me wrong. I'm eating crow. They came out and with their hair on fire and answered from their tail whooping they got the previous week better than I thought they would. So hats off to Mark Stoops and that Kentucky team, and survive in advance.
Survive in advance, baby. A few more big thoughts, and then we're truly going to move on.
All right.
I do want to say this because this was a cool quote from Kirby. He said after the game, so proud of the resiliency our kids showed. They never flinched. We thought this would be a blow-by-blow game. We talked all week about blow-by-blow, delivering more blows than them. We said the first chop of the tree doesn't chop the tree down. It takes sometimes 272 axe chops, and it took every single one tonight to get the job done. And I'm pretty sure he said keep chopping again. And I just love the keep chopping quote. I think that's one of his best ones. Man, we just did what we had to do. Last note here. The players, Adam, after the game, just went straight to the locker room. They weren't talking to each other. I watched them. I made a point to watch them. None of them were talking. There's Dominic Lovett. He went by to say hey to some people. Christian Miller did the same thing, or Tyron Ingram Dawkins, whoever. But the rest of them, every single one of them, shook hands, went back to the locker room. I think they know this was not their best performance.
Yeah.
They would be the first to tell you. They know they've got to work on some stuff, and Kirby is going to have 2 weeks of ammo from what the media says. Georgia's already been ranked number 2 in the AP polls this week. It's just shaping up how I'd rather have it.
I'd rather have it too, Clark. And that's the thing, man. What happened in Lexington, Kentucky over the next 2 weeks, Kirby can teach upon, and leadership has been instilled, and leaders have developed and will continue to emerge in that Butts-Mehre facility the following 2 weeks, leading in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And as a Georgia fan, you couldn't be in a better spot. I know. Yes, I said it. You couldn't be in a better spot going into Tuscaloosa, I feel.
I agree. I just think if you win that game by 40 in Kentucky, that's great. We're probably not saying some of this stuff, but I don't know. it just gives you a little bit more as a team, gives you a little bit more to work with when people are doubting you.
I love that this team, Clark, got to go to a hostile SEC night game before going to a hostile SEC environment that will be amplified at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Then I know everybody say, well, they played it last year, but no, as a group, this year is different. This team is different. And as a group and as a unit this year, being able to go get that test, get that adversity, handed to them a little bit there, I think bodes well, and going into Tuscaloosa in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited about it, Clark. Still optimistic, man, and can't wait to see how they respond. That's going to be the big thing. We're going to tell a lot about this Georgia football team in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Saturday, September 28th.
Yeah. And we're going to save that chatter for next episode.
That's right.
Let's talk some more week 3 games outside not necessarily the SEC, but outside the Georgia bubble here.
All right.
Last Friday night, I did not get a chance to watch this, but I do know the score and how it ended up.
I did.
Arizona at Kansas State. Kansas State rolled 31-7.
Yep.
Adam, tell me about it.
No, I mean, yeah, it was a big game there in the Little Apple in Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
They were fired up. Arizona scored on the first possession, and then Kansas State shut them down after that. Big game, Big 12. What people don't realize has an automatic bid and a bye to the playoffs, man. And there's no Texas, no Oklahoma, no really big dog in that conference. So a lot of teams and fan bases for the first time ever are having just hype of making the playoffs, and Kansas State is one of those teams that are right in the middle of it, man. Avery Johnson, very talented quarterback, what they're doing, man, at Kansas State. Look out for them in the Big 12 title race, man. So
interesting.
Yeah, good night to be a Wildcat.
They're a top 15 team for sure.
Yep.
Saturday, Alabama at Wisconsin. This turned out just as we expected, 42-10. A little shaky there at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Van Dyke goes down. That really hurt Wisconsin, and they couldn't get the ball moving after that, and Alabama just
too
took
slow,
over.
man. Too slow.
Yeah.
Too slow. Wisconsin just cannot keep up with the pace and athleticism of the Alabama athlete skill guys that they have, and on the trenches as well, just complete domination. It's SEC versus Big Ten, and it kind of ended up like I figured it would.
Yeah. Milroe looked pretty good.
I mean, they're feeling good about themselves heading into it, and I like it.
Yeah. 32-point victory there in Camp Randall.
Yeah.
LSU at South Carolina, 36-33. I didn't think this would be an instant classic game, but it kind of turned out to be.
Yeah.
What a game. LSU came out really, really slow and then just made a second half comeback, beat Carolina 36-33. It was so fun watching Shane Beamer's face the whole game.
Oh, he did, man. I was going to find enjoyment on Brian Kelly, Shane Beamer. Anyway, how it went. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this football game, Clark. And it's always fun because of the experiences we've had with South Carolina fans, especially a decade ago during the 2010-14 stretch. But even, the last time we went there, it was fun to see them getting dejected and just having the life sucked out of them by there. A lot of self-inflicted stuff and by South Carolina, stuff that I don't think you would see happen at Georgia as far as personal fouls and just shooting themselves in the foot in the sense of some questionable calls with the referees, you could say, but at the end, a team that doesn't have the culture like at Georgia to finish games like that, and it showed on Saturday at home against LSU. South Carolina had a lot of chances to win that football game, but just couldn't pull it off.
Adam, I'm naming this game for future reference.
What's that? All I was going to say is, though, I do have to give credit to South Carolina. They have a very good defensive line, I feel like.
They do.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
respectable. Better than I thought they'd be.
For sure. I'm giving the LSU-Carolina matchup in the future a name, as long as Brian Kelly and Shane Beamer are the coach there. It's going to be called the Cringe Bowl.
The Cringe Bowl. I like that.
Because they could not be any cringeworthy, whatever, coaches.
Right.
I mean, they're the most cringy coaches of all time.
That's right.
Both of them.
That's right.
So, the Cringe Bowl.
That's true. The Cringe Bowl.
The next matchup we have here, Boston College at Missouri, 27-21 Mizzou. I mean, man, this was a good game, and I think I said Boston College would keep this close. I don't know. I picked them at least to keep it close. Missouri did not cover this, but good matchup.
Yeah, it was, Clark. Boston College went up to Columbia, Missouri, played very well. I guess I should say went down to Columbia, Missouri, and played with Bill O'Brien's got them just turned around completely. Amazing what he's doing just not even a year on campus, just right now where he's got that team. But good win for Eli Drinkwitz and get those guys facing some adversity. Boston College came back, made it a close game, and then they did what they had to do to win there at the end at home. Missouri, real good schedule, real good favorable schedule for those guys going forward. Keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Oregon and Oregon State, the Civil War, 49-14. Oregon rolls. Not really much to say about this one.
I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't either.
Whatever.
Whatever. West Virginia, Pittsburgh.
Backyard brawl, Clark.
Yeah. Pittsburgh won this 38-34. I didn't watch a snap of this one. Did you?
No, I did not. But I will say again that Neil Brown is a dead man walking.
Yeah, this one doesn't help.
Does not help. You cannot keep the Mountaineer contingent happy when you lose the Pitt.
Especially by 4 points.
That's right.
That's a dagger.
That's right.
Yeah, Pat McAfee was talking about how it is truly like a West Virginia thing. They take so much pride in beating Pittsburgh, and they didn't get it done here. So.
Didn't get it done.
So Neil Brown, you think he's walking the plank?
Yeah, not looking good, along with Billy Napier, and I hate to say it,
list of other coaches.
Probably, Sam Pittman as well.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Hey, game of the week last week. You ready for this? The Hard Rockers did beat the Upper Iowa Peacocks 17-10.
Yes.
So good job, Adam.
Thank you. Big win for the program.
Yeah. The Peacocks had some opportunities in this game,
But
Adam.
just couldn't get it done.
But they
couldn't capitalize to get it done.
Yeah, they couldn't capitalize.
Period.
They couldn't capitalize on third downs. They were 1 for 12.
Dang.
That's awful.
Yeah, you can't win football games when you do that. So, I mean, just a great job by South Dakota. They really wanted this one. They really put all the chips all in to get this win early on to set the tone for the rest of the year. Can't wait to follow some Hard Rocker football the rest of the way and see the leaps and bounds this program makes from kind of catapults after this win.
Yeah.
Big win against them in history. This time didn't prevail.
That's true. Yeah.
Boom.
1-1 in the series there.
Love it.
All right, this week's Pick'em. We got a few good games.
Yeah.
Some games we'll get to comfortably watch from home or wherever you're
football. It's going to be good.
Exactly. Number 11, USC at number 18, Michigan, 3:30 CBS. And you know what? We're not going to do the
No, we're not. They don't deserve that.
These games don't deserve the
They
bubble
do
bombs.
not deserve. No, Big Ten country does not deserve a bubble bomb.
USC is favored by 6 in this game.
Okay.
Adam, who do you like in this one?
USC, man. Michigan, I feel like has what you could say is a trend that they're just definitely not to the level that they were under Harbaugh the past 3-4 years. With whatever's floating around that program, Sharon Moore, where they're at now, kind of been gutted after last year. And I think USC is going to go to the big house. Not that I have all the faith in Lincoln Riley in the world or Miller Moss, their quarterback, but I think they get it done against Michigan, and then you're going to have the USC hype train crank up. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's already been. But
and then,
more people.
Well, shoot, man. I mean, you do have to tip your hat to them if they have wins over Michigan and LSU after week 4. I mean, good on them.
Respectable.
So,
for sure.
So I think they will win it.
Yeah, they're definitely a fringe playoff team. What's so interesting about this is it's a Big Ten matchup, which is just odd.
It is. Yeah.
I still cannot get used to this.
It's amazing, man.
I'm going to take USC, not by a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, spread. There's a reason why this spread is as accurate as this. I mean, Vegas runs so many numbers and stuff. And
that's right.
I would honestly say USC is going to get a touchdown lead and win by 7.
Really?
So,
yeah.
They'll cover by 1 point.
True.
So
okay.
Michigan's awful.
Yes.
They got to figure out their offense.
Don't have a quarterback.
No, they don't. All right, number 12, Utah at number 14, Oklahoma State. 2.5 point spread here in favor of Oklahoma State. 4 o'clock, Fox. I have not watched Utah. I have not watched Oklahoma State.
I love this game.
This is a cool game, yeah.
This is a very fun, interesting game. Seriously, this is one of the most underrated games to me, Clark, of this week because now they are conference foes, and they're two programs that you have just seen just be right there. Made BCS games in the past, just couldn't get in the playoff. They lost some opportunities to get in the playoff, but been in BCS games. Both of their coaches started at their respective schools in 2005. Kyle Whittingham and Mike Gundy. For Urban Meyer left Utah after 2004. Nick Saban left LSU after 2000. No, excuse me. Left LSU 2004, which made Les Miles go to LSU in 2005 from Oklahoma State, which insert Mike Gundy, who's been there ever since. So that's the trickle-down effect of it. So long-tenured coaches at their schools who have had some success but not major success, almost, I feel like, personally, kind of the same level. Maybe Utah a tick above with some of their Pac-12 championships.
Yeah.
But I do not know who will win this football game. But, again, going back to this Big 12 race, what we have this year, big game inside in that.
Okay.
I'm going with Utah.
Ooh, I'm going to stick with the home team here. Mike Gundy. I don't know who their quarterback is. It might be his son. Didn't his son play quarterback last year?
It's not a son.
No, it can't be. I'm just remembering this now.
Yeah,
he's kind of like a Rudy kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh, like got very nervous.
Oh, his hands were shaking. Yeah. I've seen that
yeah,
before.
It's not. Yeah, not.
Man, I wish I had more time to keep up with these other teams. Miami at South Florida.
All right.
Is the next matchup. Miami is ranked number 8 right now. They are 17.5-point favorites over South Florida. 7 o'clock ESPN. Adam, if I were a betting man,
Okay.
and I'm not, but if I were, my money would be on South Florida covering.
Really? Okay.
The way that they played against the Crimson Tide was impressive to me. They've got some athletes.
Yeah.
I think they can at least keep it within a 17.5-point game. I'm still taking Miami, but give me South Florida to cover.
Okay. I hear you. In Tampa. This game's in
Tampa.
All right.
And Raymond James.
Yeah, and Raymond James. Okay. I mean, Miami at South Florida, that sounds like a heck of a rivalry game. I mean, no, it's not, but Miami it should be, right?
It should,
yeah. I mean, I'll take Miami, but I can see South Florida having a respectable showing. But man, Miami and Cam Ward looking strong, looking like the top team in the ACC so far, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. All right, now our last matchup here before we get to the game of the week. Number 6 Tennessee at number 15 Oklahoma, 7:30 ABC. Tennessee right now favored by 7.5.
Wow.
What do you like about this one?
Oh man, I don't know what to think about it, Clark. Tennessee really, NC State is definitely not as good as what kind of you would think preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're even worse. I mean, it's not like they were predicted to be world beaters, but I still think they're a tick below what even they were predicted to be. So that game, Tennessee's came out and dominated their first 3 games.
For sure.
However, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They've done what they've needed to do their first 3 games. You can't make a knock on them. It looks like they're improved defensively. Yes, it's not like they're just lining up against just a great team yet. This will be a good test for them. Oklahoma, maybe not looking just up to SEC top tier style yet. I think with the Josh Heupel factor coming back to Oklahoma, kind of what that relationship with his alma mater's turned into, he's had this thing circled. Give me Tennessee going into Norman and winning this game and covering.
Yeah, give me Tennessee in the points. They look good. I hate to admit it, but yeah, I mean they've got this thing humming so far. This will be a good test for them. I don't think it's going to be just an absolute 70-3 blowout or anything.
No.
I don't think Tennessee's going to be attempting onside kicks up 30 in the first quarter against the worst team in America, Kent State, in FBS. I mean, what are we doing?
That's just
Anyway, I can't stand them. But props to them. They've got a good football team right now. So give me Tennessee in the points. We do agree on that one. All right, Adam.
Here we go.
Game of the week.
Wrap it up a little bit here. Turn it up 5, baby.
Yeah. You ready for this one?
Give it to me.
I gave you a little too much.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
look,
good,
I didn't
good.
look at it. No.
I almost scrolled a little too far and showed you the mascot prematurely, which would not have been good.
No, not good.
All right, we've got the Hope, Hope, Flying Dutchman
Okay.
at Rose Holman Fighting Engineers.
Okay.
Notice how I didn't say fighting.
The fighting engineers.
Fighting with an apostrophe at the end.
Okay.
All right, so this game is going to be, where is this game? I don't know, somewhere. I'll get to it in just a
It's
second.
at Cook Stadium.
Yeah, so it's at Cook Stadium at Brown Field around Welch Track.
Okay,
I mean, they named everything there.
All right,
What's left? The scoreboard, the concession stand?
Yes, the press box. That's about it.
Golly.
So we're going up to Cook Stadium, Brown Field, the Welch Track this
Place.
Saturday
Yeah, facility.
to watch the fighting engineers.
The Fighting Engineers, yep. They're hosting the Flying Dutchman of Hope College. Kickoff is at 1:30. Hot 84-degree kickoff. Ooh.
Wow.
So, once again, I can't remember where Rose Holman is. I'll tell you in just a minute. We'll get to them. Let's start with Hope College Flying Dutchman, Adam.
Yes.
First of all, I love the name.
I do too.
Flying
Love the
Dutchman.
Flying Dutchman. Flying Dutchman, it makes me think of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Yes.
Davy Jones.
Yeah, Davy Jones. I was about to say
That's
there's
it.
Black Pearl, and then there's Davy
Flying
Jones.
Dutchman. The Dutchman, yeah.
All right, Hope College, they are located in Holland, Michigan. Hope College was founded by settlers from the Netherlands in 1866. The college's athletic teams have been known as the Dutchmen since the beginning of the intercollegiate program in the early 1900s. So, I mean,
Long
they've got
history
some
there.
tradition
Yes,
here.
I love it.
You know,
Well grounded, Clark.
well grounded
And their
for sure.
roots.
Their mascot, Adam, is Dutch.
Yes. Look at that smile, Clark. Look at that smile. Look at that headwear. I'm not talking about the mascot headwear. I'm talking about the mascot's head's headwear. I love that, man. Love that hat. Love the smile. A.
So not an A plus.
Not an A plus.
What would bump it up to an A plus?
If they rounded the beard around the mustache there. I don't like the chin beard.
You don't like the chin
I don't
strap?
like the chin strap. No.
Last week, I think you liked the chin strap on somebody on
did
the
I?
last mascot. Yeah,
This one I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't like the chin strap. It needs to round that beard out a little bit.
I
around the
love this
mustache.
mascot. It's
Great,
almost
great smile.
Yeah, it's almost perfect. The
is.
one thing I wish they'd have, and if you guys aren't listening, or if you're not watching on YouTube, dang it,
missing
you need to watch Game of the Week at least on YouTube. The only thing I wish were different, like his teeth. It looks like one singular tooth.
It's true. You need to get a Sharpie and just make some make some
A
lines.
grid.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a grid.
That's right. That is true.
Because it looks like just one giant tooth. Yeah, I don't get it. Either that or he's got like a marshmallow just stuffed in his mouth or something.
That's a strong mascot.
Yeah, I
love
like
it.
him. I
Love
like
the hat. Everything.
Yeah, so that's Dutch there. Notable alumni from Hope College, Carol Van Vorst.
Okay.
She was a former U.S. ambassador to Iceland, 2006, 2009. Just a long tenure there. I mean, just awesome stuff here.
Because the negotiations we got to have with the fine folks of Iceland are pivotal
Yeah.
to U.S. trade relations.
Yeah, just foreign affairs.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Oh my gosh.
Good job, old Carol. All
Yeah.
right.
Good old, let's give Carol a clap. Come on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love
We also have DJ Rayburn, Adam. He's an MLB umpire.
it. Really high achievers there.
I'm serious.
I love
yeah.
that. Well, good.
I guarantee you, if you've watched an MLB game, you've seen this
You've
guy. 'Cause
seen DJ.
even I've seen it. I don't even
even
watch
seen
him.
DJ. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on the, what is it? Not Aaron Hernandez. God, what's the Hernandez guy? He's awful. He just retired.
Yeah, Angel.
Angel. Yeah,
that's
that guy's
right.
terrible. I think he's on the same team, or used to be at least.
I got you. Well, good.
Their
DJ.
last
That's good.
alumni is Max Dupree. He's a former CEO of Herman Miller. Adam, I have a Herman Miller chair at home. This is an ungodly amount of money for an office chair. I paid something like $1,400.
What?
For it. But it's a great investment.
What?
Listen, I sit in it and edit this podcast and a lot of other
Okay.
things in that. So
it's a good
it's a
investment.
great investment. For
I
me.
didn't even know. I've never even heard of Herman Miller.
I promise you, one day when we hit it big,
Okay.
and we're
gonna have Herman.
going to have
chairs
Herman
right
Miller
here.
chairs right here,
Love
and they
it,
are
man.
awesome.
All right.
But I do love these right here.
So
that we're sitting
CEO of
Herman Miller.
Okay. All right. That's a good tidbit there.
Yeah. Their head coach is Peter, Sturzma. That's a
Sounds
tough
like
one.
he's Dutch himself.
Yeah, actually, maybe. He's been the head coach since 2016, leading the team to 2 MIAA titles.
Strong dynasty, man.
I don't know what MIAA stands
Mirrors Kirby in all ways.
Yeah.
Same amount of length of time, same amount of titles. I mean, that's good. That's what you want to see
for. That is true.
if you're a Hope fan.
So let's move on to Rose Holman, the Fighting Engineers. Here's where they're playing this week, y'all. Terre Haute, Indiana.
Wow,
I think
okay.
I said that right.
All right.
Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yep.
So, yeah, Indiana. Cool stuff. They are an institute of technology, just like our little brothers down the road on I-85.
Yeah.
We don't like them, but I'm okay with the Rose Holman Fighting Engineers, Adam. They have a really cool mascot history. I'm going to read through just a quick little blurb.
A little blurb.
A blurb. That's my power word of the day.
Blurb.
So their mascot is named Rosie, and before I show you a picture, let me read you a little bit about Rosie. First of all, Rosie symbolizes determination, strength, and courage. The precise origin of this mascot is unclear, but it has been part of the college tradition for over 100 years. So another historic, traditional school right here. At Homecoming 2021, Rose Holman unveiled a new variant of their beloved mascot, Rosie the Elephant. and had this new variant race against the old version for the title of being the official mascot. So they had a race between a new variation. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Like a new variation of like a new costume, right?
Right.
New look. You know, we're going modern nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
We put that version up against the old school version. And I'm about to show you both and see which one you like better.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The audience response was less than positive. We as a student body believe that the race was rigged. As such, we believe that the old mascot would have won under fair conditions and request a rematch.
Wow.
Please consider reverting this update. As a community, we were okay with Rosie as she was. As engineers say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I like that. I like that. You got to respect that.
So they actually have a petition, Adam.
Okay. Yes.
And you can go sign the petition.
Let's do that.
To bring Rosie back.
To bring Rosie back.
They've got 1,015 signatures. They only need 1,500. So we can get them there.
All right. Good deal.
But I'm going to show you.
Love that.
Let me first show you old Rosie.
Okay. So an elephant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you expecting an elephant?
I was not expecting an elephant. No.
I mean, when you hear the fighting engineers, you're probably thinking of Rosie, you know.
Right. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie the Riveter. That's what I was kind of thinking of. I was like, okay, this is clever. But I was not expecting an elephant. All right. Okay. All right.
A little bit of an identity crisis here.
Yes. Okay. A little bit of Auburn going on there in Indiana. Yeah. Okay. So that's the old one then.
Right. So do you like the old one? I mean, unbiased opinion, without seeing the new one.
I really think they need to perk him up a little bit. He looks like he's about to go to sleep. He's got some bags underneath his eyes. Doesn't look very intimidating. Just kind of looks like he's there.
Right.
Really think it looks like this elephant looks like he wants to take a nap. They could kind of retheme the body language that the headwear is giving off in a permanent state. That headwear has, right? So, I mean, they went out of the way to draw bags under this poor elephant's eyes. It looks like it's about to just go lay down under the one singular tree in the Saharan desert.
Pod tree.
Saharan
with a giraffe roaming about.
Right. So, I mean, this is just pitiful.
And where are
I understand why this was brought up. Yes.
Yeah. Where are the tusks?
Man, that thing looks like it should be at the band in Chuck E. Cheese in 1997. They're playing the drums in the Chuck E. Cheese band that you saw across America in 97. Golly.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, man. All right, so that's old Rosie. You ready for new Rosie? I think you'll actually like new Rosie then.
All right.
There's new Rosie.
All right, I like it. Got a little spunk to it. Got a little spunk to it. Kind of looks like Dumbo. Got the ears pursed up a little bit. The what do you call it? The trunk? The trunk pursed up. It actually looks. You know what that thing looks like?
What?
It looks like a heffalump off Winnie the Pooh.
Heffalumperusal?
Yes. Off Winnie the Pooh. Like with the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh we used to watch when we were a kid. That's what that thing looks like.
Oh, my gosh.
I like that one better. I don't know where the rest of it is. That's just the head for it. But I mean, usually I don't go with the new stuff, but I'm gonna go with the new one.
All right.
I'm gonna go.
I kind of like the old one.
Yeah,
there's something
the
about
mystique of it a little bit. Okay.
Like, do we know if he's actually going to sleep or Rosie's going to sleep?
I don't know.
She may just kind of be in the middle of some like really strong thought.
I think they need to make a petition to just reimagine the whole daggum thing, explode it, and just go new, because this one looks not intimidating whatsoever. Just looks too just soft.
Yeah, this one's too perky and happy.
Yep. Looks like a Disney character.
We need something in the middle.
Yeah. And then this one looks like it's
We need to know what the people like.
What a daggum.
Old Rosie or new Rosie?
What a deal they got up there. Glad I'm not involved in that. Man, that's depressing.
Oh my gosh. And what about the tusks, right quick? I mean, they're little nubs.
Yeah, little nubs.
Did they get poached? Like, did the guy shoot the tranquilizer gun and cut off the ivory for whatever you use ivory for?
That's right.
Balls?
That's right. So, very well could have gotten poached.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, man. All right. Notable.
That was good.
Yes.
That was good.
Notable alumni from Rose Hallman, the Fighting Engineers. Abe Silverstein. He was an aeronautical engineer.
Wow.
NASA center director back in the 1920s, I think.
Yes.
I just don't know. Like, what are you doing in the 1920s for NASA? I mean, I'm sure there's pretty cool stuff, but obviously not the kind of things that happen today.
Yeah,
So,
that's wild. I had no clue that was even a deal back then.
yeah. And then Jim Umpleby. That's a fun name to say.
Yes, it is.
He's the CEO of Caterpillar.
Oh,
Adam.
man. CEO of Cat. Yeah, that's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
That is the most impressive one you've read off by far. That man is very wealthy and, Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Head coach is Charlie Floor. Mm-hmm. And the last time these two teams met, Hope College beat Roseman Holman, the Fighting Engineers, in a thrilling matchup, 27-20 back in 2021.
Okay.
So, with that said, the Flying Dutchman of Hope, they're 2-0 on the season. And then you got Rosie the Elephant here, the Fighting Engineers.
Yeah.
Rose Holloman, they're 0-2.
Okay.
So, with all that said, also one last thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because this makes a difference, I think.
All right.
This is also Tackle Childhood Cancer Night.
Oh, I love that.
I love that.
Love that.
Let's all do that, man. I wish we
Seriously.
all had, like, for real. I'm not.
And I know,
make
seriously.
Yeah. But Rose Hallman is in Indiana. Who do you like in this matchup, Adam?
Give me Hope College to win big.
Oh,
Big.
wow.
Coming into Rose Holman. I don't think their minds are right over there at Rose if they're debating about the daggone mascot and over there. Kind of just I don't think it's a good culture at Rose. From what I hear and Hope, their head coach has won 2 titles. Solid foundation there. Won't be close.
Yeah.
Give me Hope winning by 3 touchdowns, 41-20 on the road.
Wow. Big road win there, Adam.
Yep. Who you going with?
I hope Rose Hallman raises a lot of money for childhood cancer, but
Yes.
Hope is absolutely going to crush them.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
So-
this is kind of one of the most no-brainer ones, just from even just reading the data and the analytics of both programs and
Right.
school history. That even just us can tell these random schools in Michigan and Indiana who's going to win this football game.
Yeah.
But you give them Saturday, man. And you give them Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, maybe Rose Hallman comes
That's
out
right.
playing with their hair on fire.
You just don't know, man.
They have their quarterback plays with an out of body experience.
That's right.
you know.
I mean, you just never know. So I mean, but on paper, it looks like Hope's going to destroy him, though.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, man, we have had a great time here on Road 60.
Yeah, we
hope
have.
you've had it as well. Hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, do us a favor right quick. Leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That does help.
And like the Instagram, too. Double tap on the Instagram post.
Yeah.
The content that Clark puts out is phenomenal, man. So enjoy what you've been doing there. Taking it up a level this season is good. So it helps the algorithm when you comment, like, subscribe, and all the things.
Yeah.
All the
Oh
things.
man, good stuff. Well, Adam, coming up, we have
Okay.
UGA at Alabama 7:30 next week, not
Next
this week. You guys take the bye week, enjoy it, have fun, rest your voices. We're gonna need y'all.
You dang right.
Summon a little bit of energy, conserve some energy, I should say.
That's right.
And we're going to have some fun here soon. Hey, once again, live call-in show, September 27th, 8 o'clock p.m. We
Put
hope
it
to
in
see
the
you there.
calendar, baby.
Put it on the
That's
calendar.
right.
Circle it a couple times in red Sharpie. We want to see you there. YouTube Live and then Facebook Live will be live that night. Adam, go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Woo, man. Yeah, hey, look, SEC life on the road is tough. This team grew up Saturday night. No, it's not what we wanted to see. It's not what I predicted. I'm eating crow. And it's something, though, that this team will get better, Clark. I promise you they're going to get better. Do not give up on this football season yet. Don't get sucked into the negativity that's being spewed all over the interwebs, man. You know what you saw. You know what this team has in the arsenal, man. And Clark, you know what happens this time of year. This has been a trend where there's been some games that have been a little bit questionable, but this team grows from it. This is what the foundation and culture is at Georgia. It's going to be an exciting 2 weeks anticipating what's going to happen in Tuscaloosa. One that Kirby Smart needs to win, and we're going to see a new look Georgia football team on September 28th. But in the meantime, enjoy it with family and friends. Talk about this Alabama game coming up. Still be excited about this season because it still could be a very special one, and we're going to find out what this season is going to be about, what this football team has, and where we're at 2 weeks from now in September 28th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It is great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunities to be a fan of a team that plays in these big-time football games,
That's right.
Clark. That is the blessing, man. Get fired up about it. Enjoy this moment in life. Enjoy family and friends for the bye week. We'll be right here. Can't wait to see y'all next week. Go Dogs,
Go Dogs.
baby.